You're watching Acieroamsterdam. Today I'm coming to you with business talk with the most frequent asked questions in business. Today I'm back again with inclusion as a strategy. I am going to tackle a question that's most frequently asked about: do I disclose my disability to my employer when I am applying for a job? Yeah, that question is very popular. I have had to encounter that too, but do not worry, I'm here for you. Before we go on, if you're new here, thanks for joining us, and I would love you to subscribe. And if you're interested in sponsoring this channel, please do not forget later on to check out the links below in the description box in order to contact us for that sponsorship. And let's continue with our video. That was a big one. So let's continue. Yeah, do you need to disclose your disability when you're applying for a job? My answer to that question is no and yes. It depends. First of all, why would you want to lower your chances from the first glance, from the first moment that you apply for a job by disclosing your disability? You shouldn't do that for some jobs. If the job is a normal job, there are no requirements that you have to have a disability, you should not disclose that as something unless your disability is visible. If your disability is visible, there is no way that people wouldn't come, wouldn't see it, Later on, when you show up for the interview, they will see this disability, so you wouldn't need to disclose it on your application or when you're applying. So even when you go for the interview, they'll see it, so they will not ask you about it. They will ask you about it, but they won't eliminate you because of that once you get through the selection process. But if you disclose it before the selection process, maybe they didn't know you are disabled and they might eliminate you unless the job is specifically tailored for people with a disability. Then you have to disclose it so that you qualify for this job or highly come in ranking for this job. So why I wouldn't disclose my disability to the employer is one. First of all, I first want to get through the selection procedure with everyone and feel that I am worth of this job. Secondly, when you apply for a job, all jobs require the same competences. So if you have those competences and you have a disability, you do not have to disclose that because it's just extra information, private information that's irrelevant, at that moment. So you just have to let it go. And lately, the recruiters of companies are so ruthless that if you just put in something, that's different from the normal required person, you're just out of the system. They just even don't look at your CV because first of all, it's different. It's not what they're looking for. They're looking for someone who wants to work and someone who is average, and someone with a disability isn't average. So they're not looking for exceptional, different, they're looking for average. So what you have to do is try to meet the average criteria and don't disclose that disability immediately unless the job specifically mentions that you have to have a disability. Then you have to mention it. And thirdly, why I wouldn't want to disclose it is it will become the talk of your interview. You want to be interviewed about your job, not about your disability. If I've come for a job interview, I just want to hear about what the job is going to be about, not about what my disability is about. And when should you disclose it now? Okay, you should disclose your disability when you cannot hide it from your employer. If you know you have to visit hospital frequently and there is no way you can get time off to visit your hospital frequently when it's required, then you have to mention that in your interview so that your employer knows that when they employ you, they will have to take some days off to go to hospital and they'll be okay with it, So you have to mention it then. And if your disability is visible and you need some adjustments at work, you have to mention it because there's no way they are going to do any adjustments for you if they don't know what your problem is. So then you have to mention it. And if you know that you really want to be honest, and there is no way you can work for that company without them knowing about your disability, then you have to mention it if it's killing you. But in my own opinion, I prefer to keep my disability my private thing if it's not affecting my work and if it is not in anyone's, best interest to know. So I hope this is clear, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you can make a decision on if you want to disclose your disability to your employer or you wouldn't want to disclose it. The choice is up to you, and I would love to see you soon. Love to have you subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos, and stay tuned, and don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share it, and see you soon.